Let's do Kristin Cavallari. And I feel, just in the spirit of honesty, I need to divulge. Um, so I never had the best impression of her, because it's truly all it was. But back in the day, back in the early 2000s, when all those OC shows were on, I was traveling around a lot, and all those shows made me feel kind of like I had to defend my hometown, because yes, I'm from Orange County. And it's a great, great place to grow up. It's a beautiful, just nice, friendly, just safe town. Or at least it was when I was growing up there. Ever since then, it's turned more into like what you see on the shows, which is never good. But anyway, at that time, I kind of resented all those shows because I felt like it just gave it a bad rap, and I really didn't like that. So therefore, I really didn't like or care for any of the people on those shows. However, now I stumbled upon her podcast, and I just really liked it. Like everything I listened to, I don't know. I really agree with. I appreciate her authenticity. I feel like when people are being authentic and just kind of don't give a shit how it comes off or what people think. And I love that. And that takes balls to do, especially when you were or are in the industry in any way, shape, or form. It takes balls to do. And ironically, I think a good majority of the people in that industry wish they could do that, but are too afraid to. So I think it says a lot about her and her character that she is willing to do that. And I don't know, I like her topics, and I love it when her and her bestie get together and they just laugh the whole show. Like sometimes I don't even know what they're saying. There's just so much laughter, but I love it. Sometimes just listening to people laugh, have like a genuine giggle, is good for you. It lightens your day, it brightens your day, it lifts you up. It's all good things. Everyone can use more laughter in their life. So I don't know. I've been surprised at how much I like her shows and her podcasts, YouTube shows, podcasts, same thing. But anyway, I really enjoy her now, and I'm just so surprised, and it makes me feel kind of bad for prejudging all those kids. It makes me feel bad for prejudging. It's like no one should judge anybody without looking at their chart. So let's look at her chart. Okay, so two things off the bat. I was literally going to guess she was an Aries because she comes off very fiery, and Aries is the fieriest fire sign. So I literally would have guessed Aries. She has an Aries moon, and she's a Capricorn sun, which actually really surprises me. I do not see any Capricorn in her. Capricorn is very like, wah, woe is me. Why do I have to do everything? They're great workers. The best about a Capricorn is they're a freaking mountain goat. They will scale the tallest mountains. They will get it done. They will climb to the top of the hardest mountains that no one and nothing else can do. But then when they get there, they'll cry about the fact that they had to do it. That's the downfall of the Capricorn. Just like, woe is me. Very Eeyore, very down. I think it has something to do with the fact that they represent the depths of winter. But that's very Capricorn, and she is not that. But I can see the workhorse in her. So hopefully the Aries alleviated the wah, and she just puts that Capricorn to work and gets shit done. How that would come across in real life is that Aries that wants to do everything and do it now and get it started and execute in no time like the present. We need it done yesterday, that kind of energy. The only negative thing about it is that sometimes it burns out quickly. So it doesn't burn out as fast as Sagittarius. They get confused or lost easily. But an Aries can see things through, especially if they have a workhorse behind them, being a Taurus or a Capricorn. If you have those two in combination, forget about it. World be damned. Like there's nothing you can't do. No one will get in your way. If they do, they'll be run over. For real. So that actually makes a lot of sense. Like Capricorn, Aries, yeah. So the Aries in her is the one that gets things started, gets up, gets moving, is the passion, is the go-getter, is the executor. And then if and when she gets a little tired or a little distracted, that Capricorn comes in and sees things through and is just like, nope, one foot in front of the other, keep going, we'll get this done. It's the extra strength that she needs. Just a Capricorn is a great workhorse. I can't stress that enough. I just wish they didn't feel so bad for being the great workhorse that they are. They should feel proud of that. It's a good thing. It's nothing to cry about. I just wish I could just convey that to them. I wish I could make them believe that. If I could, I would. Maybe that's why I'm here. So her Mercury is a Capricorn too, so she communicates like a Capricorn. Very headstrong, sometimes too headstrong. Yeah, yeah, that's a danger in Capricorns where they just get into a mode where they just don't listen to anybody else. It's just like, no, like strangely, even more so than a Taurus. And a Taurus is very stubborn, but I don't know. Capricorn can be more stubborn in the way that it just won't listen to anybody else or take anyone else's opinions into consideration. Strangely enough, you would think that the Taurus would be more stubborn, but there's a weird thing about Capricorns where they just don't want to listen. I don't know why. Maybe it's the goat itself. Maybe it just doesn't listen. I don't know, but I know it's a pattern. I just don't know where it comes from. I don't know the origin story of it. Oh. Ew. Oh my god. Okay, so you know how she's always getting a bad rap for talking about like men and dating, which I think is hysterical. Girl, you do you. It's part of your life. Share it. It's funny. Especially if we can laugh at it, please share. Please. Honestly, that's like dating can be so horrible and there's so many awful relationships there. The greatest thing we can do about it is laugh. If we can derive some good from it, it's laughter. Just laugh at the crazy shit that people do, that you go through, that you see, that you experience. Laugh at it. It's so much better than crying about it. So laugh at it, share it, give other people the opportunity to laugh at it. All good things. And if men want to be idiots, let them be. We'll laugh at it. It's all good. Maybe not for them, but that's their problem. Maybe they need to do some work on themselves then. Don't give us something to laugh about. Hey, there you go. So she's attracted to watery men. So Venus or Jupiter, people sometimes tend to say that if it's a woman's chart, Jupiter is where they'll like find their husband or find their mate. Venus is technically what you're attracted to aesthetically, but I found an even amount in women because I think women have a lot more variation in what they go for and the reasons why they go for it. Whereas in men, it is your Venus because it's only the exterior that matters. It's only the facade. It's only the looks that matter. So yeah, in a man's chart, his Venus is who he is attracted to. That's it. You don't have to look anywhere else. It's very simple, like most men. But both of her Venus is Scorpio. Her Jupiter is a Pisces. So she's attracted to watery men. Pisces is a little more airy, like stuck between air and water, left and right, forward, back, just stuck. But like they have emotions, but not that many, and they get distracted easily. Again, like Pisces, just lost. But air and water both wishy-washy, so it's another negative. So obviously we know Scorpios. Scorpio, Venus, Scorpio is the deepest, the darkest, the most emo of men. And then Pisces, Jupiter. I'd be so interested to look at the charts of the people that she dated. I wonder if there's any commonality or pattern within the charts of the men she dates, because sometimes there are distinctive patterns and you can instantly see what somebody is drawn to. And then sometimes it's all over the board. And in that case, I would say, okay, you're going for something else. You're going for like status, fame, monkey branching, just something like that. You're not going for the person itself. It's just what they can do for you. And in which case it doesn't matter. It's not about that person anyway. So again, there's always outside circumstances that you have to factor in on top of your chart. So anyway, she likes watery men. So she likes like deep emo men, artists, like musicians. That's where you find most emo men. But just people that have like feelings. People that have deep feelings that hopefully they can connect to and kind of convey in a positive way, not in a detrimental, self-destructive, or destructive way. That's interesting, though. I would not suspect that because I do not. Oh, well, Capricorn. Eh. Land and water signs get along. Because I was going to say, I do not see that water, like very watery emo men, getting along with your Aries. I see them being very intimidated by her Aries because fire puts out water. And fire is a lot for water signs. So if she is attracted to water signs, like who she is genuinely attracted to, not just any random dude she goes on dates with for fun. Not in a bad way, but like for a laugh. Like in a genuine, lighthearted way. I like it. I'm not saying anything bad about it. But the men she would actually genuinely be attracted to, if those are watery people, charts, men, that fire in her would be a lot. Like they would feel so emasculated. Like just they would want to retreat into their shell. They would just feel like a shell of themselves if they even know who themselves is, which is highly unlikely if they're watery men. They feel a lot, but they can't identify it, so they just repress it more often than not, and then that leads to a whole host of other issues. So much fun. So yeah, I don't see that going over well. Ironically, well, according to her chart says that the people who she is genuinely most drawn to and attracted to would be most scared of her if she leans into her fire. Or even the Capricorn, because Capricorn is such a good workhorse that it's like, she doesn't seem to give into the negative traits. If she gave into those negative, woe is me, like I just want to sit around and cry and complain, then that would get along great with watery men, because that's all they want to do too, is do nothing and sit around and cry and complain. Not the crying, but definitely the complaining and being just weird and sarcastic and expressing their emotions in very surreptitious, mean ways. Just very indirect, very passive aggressive, very annoying, in my opinion. Waste of time. But yeah, she would really, if she's like really drawn to watery men like that, I mean, a Scorpio, the deepest of feels, all the feels, destructive. If they don't confront those feelings, they're destructive, whether it's to themselves or to others. Oftentimes both, because how do you destroy yourself and not those closest to you? Pisces is just kind of lost. I do not see her putting up with the Pisces. A Pisces would be her child. She would have to just like guide through life and lead like blind fish going in opposite directions. Like she would have to do all the work, which is no fun for anyone. Because also, the men you're doing the work for are going to secretly resent you for it anyway, because they feel so emasculated and so just not dumbed down, because they don't really think it's our intention to dumb down men, but they'll feel like that just because they do so little in comparison to you. And I don't know why they don't just stand up and do more and accept that it's healthy competition. They just more, their ego gets bruised and they're just like, wah, wah, wah. I'll go find someone that does less than me so I can just feel better by comparison without having to do anything. That sounds way better. Ugh, that's rough. Saturn is a Sagittarius. Not bad. I can't see a Sagittarius being like a really hard lesson. I see it being a very like quick, fast, sharp lesson to learn and then just moving on. So that's not bad. her north node is in Aries. Yes, it is. Safe to say she is walking her life path, which leads to happiness, which she comes off as a very, like, truly happy person now. I think she's even talked about how back in the day she was not confident, and she was actually overcompensating for the lack of confidence she felt in herself when she was on that show, and just very loud and gregarious and in your face. She was overcompensating for just something she was missing inside, and she had the Aries to do so. She was exercising that Aries moon, just exactly what it said, very gregarious, very in your face, very think it, say it, do something now. So she had the attributes to exercise at that point in time. But again, I appreciate her saying that, because it's very true that confidence is quiet and insecurity is loud. A lot of what we see in life, especially like online or in Hollywood, is an over exaggeration or an overcompensation for something missing within. Because if you truly are just something, you don't feel the need to prove it. You don't have to prove it. You know within you are XYZ, and that's all. If you're happy with yourself, you're good. If you're happy with yourself, you don't need to prove for anyone else. You don't need anything, really. Everything is optional at that point. That's the best thing about it. If other people in your life, great. If they're not, equally as great. You're fine. You'll be fine on your own. That's true happiness, and that's what you can gain just from knowing your chart and using your chart to your best advantage and your best life and your best self. That's what I hope for everybody. That's why I'm here ultimately, to help you put your chart into action. So, safe to say though, she's doing a good job. She's walking her north node, because it's also an Aries. So whenever your north node is either your sun, moon, or ascendant, you're kind of a step ahead. Like you're on that path already, or you at very least have what you need to get there easily. So, I mean, she comes off very much Aries to me. She seems to exercise and use her Aries way more than the Capricorn. The Capricorn seems to be like in the back pocket in case of emergency, when she needs that extra oomph to kind of just like keep putting one foot in front of the other with your eyes closed, even like you can take a nap and still get the work done. That's when the Capricorn comes into place. And North Node Aries, so she wants to do the most, to live the most, to maybe be the first to do it. If so, great. If not, it's all right. But Aries just want to live. They want to just charge forth and conquer one thing, another thing, another thing. They want to do and make the most of the they want to do and make the most of life possible. They want to live every minute. They want to be in every moment. They want to do as much as possible, feel as much as possible, just live, to experience all the different aspects of life. If there's one sign in the zodiac that wants to live the most, the fullest, the deepest, it's an Aries. Like, it just is. It's one of my favorite signs. This actually perfectly explains why I love listening to her podcast. I really like her. It's just I'm actually really surprised. And again, I feel bad for prejudging back in the day, but yeah, her being her true Aries self, I just love. So this is why more people should just be their authentic selves. Be true to your chart. If you don't know who you are, or you find yourself in a place of just needing to find yourself, just look at your chart. Look at your chart. It's there. It's your shortcut. It's your keys. It's your keys to living your life, to finding yourself, to being your best self. It's the keys to your toolbox. Use it. Use it. I'm here to help, I promise. So anyway, most shocking thing about her chart. Wow, even her outer planets are fire and Capricorn. Scorpio moon, but everyone from that generation has Scorpio moon, so it doesn't weigh that heavy. Oh my God, I missed something. She has a Pisces Mars? What? What is that doing there? What? after I just finished ragging on Pisces. What? Huh? She does not attack the world like Pisces. She attacks the world like an Aries. That's weird. I was just about to say that the most surprising thing in her chart were the fact that she's attracted to watery men. Pisces? I do not see any Pisces in her. But her Jupiter is Pisces, which is like your extra bits, your sprinkle on top, once you already had everything that you were built with. And then somebody said, oh, just, and take some of this, just sprinkle on top. And Pisces, Mars. And Mars is the way you attack life. Like, Mars is important. Mars says a lot about you. They're both Pisces. What? What? Pisces? The fish that are lost between lands, that are lost between elements, that are just lost in general? I do not see that in her. I don't even know what a Pisces Mars would be. It's so counterintuitive. It's even worse than a Libra Mars. I mean, you would just, the way you attack life would be to get lost in it. That's what the Pisces sign says to me, and Mars, just lost. There is something so lost about Pisces, though, that even if it falls in a major planet, it's like Libra, where it's so nothing that it kind of just gets taken over and enveloped by the other stronger signs, like an Aries or Capricorn. That Scorpio Venus stands out to me, because Scorpio, the deepest of feelers. I don't know, there's something about the fact that she's attracted to watery men. So what she's attracted to in life is just the depths of life. Just, she wants to go deep. She wants to find things out. She wants to, again, live life to the fullest, feel it to its deepest, experience all there is of that. Feelings are part of that. Scorpio is part of that. Aries and Scorpio are both ruled by Mars. And being that she has both of them in her chart, I'm going to say that her Mars, which falls under Pisces in her chart, I'm just going to negate that Pisces and say that her Mars is ruled by Aries and Scorpio, because she has both of those, and both those signs are ruled by Mars, so they pick up the traits of Mars, and vice versa. Aries and Scorpio pick up the traits from Mars itself, which means it's fiery. That's what gives Scorpio its little bit of fire. So, yeah, I'm just going to negate the Pisces. The only thing I could say about Pisces is that she would approach things in life, anything, mostly business, in a very different way. A different way than anyone else would. A different thought process than most people have. Just a different way. Think of things differently. Pisces, Aquarius, I was going to say Virgos, but Virgos don't necessarily think differently. They think intently about the little things, about minutia. They miss nothing. So as far as signs that think very differently from the majority, from the rest of signs, Pisces and Aquarius. Aquarius has more effect. They can bring their thoughts into reality, into action, because they're the land signs of air signs. They have that little bit of fixed energy, a little bit of reality, so they can apply their ideas to reality. It helps have some connection to it, to reality, that is. Whereas the Pisces is basically lost between water and air. The best thing about it is that you have feelings, but they're kind of light surface feelings, like it's just waves on the top of the ocean. Sometimes they jump up into the air, sometimes they fall back down. Just so lighter emotions, good thing. They're both wishy-washy, though. So Pisces, trapped between very wishy-washy elements. Not the way to get things done or executed in life. But if you can outthink somebody or just think a little differently than they do, you can kind of outsmart them sometimes, or find a workaround, or find a better, faster, more efficient way of doing things if you use the air sign of the Pisces more. So use your air, use your mind more, and just figure things out. You can maybe transmute those feelings into thoughts and figure them out easier. However, Pisces feelings are more surfacey anyway, so it's not like figuring out Scorpio's feelings. Um, Scorpio's like the depths of the ocean feelings. And I would say, based on that Scorpio Venus, that's how deep she wants to go, particularly with men. And unfortunately, a lot of men ain't going there. And if they do, well, actually, no, it's the ones that are unwilling to go there that would be deathly afraid of her. It's the ones that are willing to go there, that are willing to confront their depths of their heart, of their soul. They would be confident and strong enough to withstand that Aries. So maybe that's the key. Find an evolved Scorpio. Find an evolved male water sign, and then that's who she'll stick with. Someone that has confronted their fears, has confronted their feelings, has turned them into something better and greater, and therefore can handle anything. Again, once you confront your fears, that's it. That's all you need to do in life. You have conquered everything. If you confront your own fears, if you have no fears within yourself, you're basically invincible. You really are. Fears control so much of us, especially if someone knows our fears and is deliberately using them against you. But also, fears are such limiting beliefs. They hold us back. They prevent us from doing so many good things, so many just fun things, powerful things, potentially great things. We just don't do out of fear. And why? Because more often than not, our fears are bigger and badder in our head anyway. Whereas if we just look at them and confront them, we realize, oh, they're not that bad. Or that's all it was. Or even if it was a lot of work to get through, it's well worth it in the end. It is always worth it in the end. You just have to get there to see it, and that's the unfortunate part. So along the way, it just takes a lot of trust. You just have to trust that it will be worth it at the end of the day. And I promise you it will. I say this as somebody with a lot of Scorpio in my chart. I promise you, the ends justify the means. If it leads to your true just peace and happiness within yourself, what is more important than that? What is greater than that? I think it was actually on one of her podcasts where she had this relationship coach on. And it was some kind of question as to like why we should spend time on ourselves, why we should invest in ourselves. And like I immediately knew the answer, because at the end of the day, you are all you have. Truly. I mean, I know we like to think that we have friends, a family, a husband, a wife, whatever. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm a believer that you only have yourself. Truly, yourself is the only thing you can count on, that you can truly 100% believe in, because you've done it before. There's evidence as to why you believe in yourself. That just who you can rely on, who you can count on, who you can trust, yourself. I mean, it's nice to think that you can do that with or for other people too. But the sad reality is, when it comes down to them proving it or showing it, they usually fall short or just prove you wrong. So, again, why waste the time? Invest in yourself, trust yourself, know yourself, and just be confident and happy and peaceful with yourself. And then everything else in life is optional. Whether people are around you or not, equally as great. For or against. If they're there, fine. If they're not, fine. If I mean, anybody, whether it's a mate, a friend, a family member, If they're around, cool. If they're gone, cool. You're still here and you'll be happy and you'll be fine either way. As long as you know that, as long as you know yourself and are happy with yourself, you can feel that for yourself. It's only when we're so deeply empty or insecure or reliant, dependent on others, that like you have that desperate need and that desperate fear of losing them, because where would you be without them? I mean, you'll be fine. I trust that a lot of people in this world are capable of a lot more than they give themselves credit for. It's just that they never try to see or find it out for themselves. But I mean, I don't think there's anything greater than just knowing yourself, liking yourself, being at peace with yourself, because that is like real, true happiness, not accumulating X amount of things, a certain job title, a certain amount of cars. Just, it's nothing exterior. It's just like within yourself, being happy and being at peace with yourself. And then everything else in life, you can kind of take or leave. There are great things. There's still excitement to be had. There's still things to accumulate and buy, but you do not need them. There's a big difference between wanting something and needing something. And that's important to always know that, keep that line and differentiate the two, because sometimes I think they do get mixed up. There's a lot of things people think they need, and no, they do not. And you do not want to find that out the hard way. So, yeah, I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but the Pisces in her, I don't see it all. Pisces Mars, I see much more fire and much more Aries. So I'm going to assume that the Mars is just being Mars and tapping into the Aries and Scorpio that it rules to override that Pisces. The only way Pisces can come into play is maybe thinking differently. And the sprinkle on top, basically, Pisces. Wait a minute. Oh, I see. So her chart is basically all fire and Capricorn. So it's fire and a workhorse. So fire, executor, go-getter, passion, excitement, in your face, and the workhorse to get shit done. When the fire kind of almost burns out, then the Capricorn will come in and be like, I got this. Let's keep going. So the point being, she has no water in her chart, which means that she can seem kind of, how do I say this? This is how it is interpreted by other people. So when you don't have a lot of water or you don't exercise your water, you kind of come off as more emotional, like kind of detached. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if along her life people told her, like, you just don't seem to feel anything, or you don't have feelings, or you're just so unemotional, or you're just a robot, or you just don't care, those things that men cry about. But yeah, she has no water in her chart except for Venus, and that's what she's attracted to. So that's an exterior thing. That's like what suits her 5 sentence. It's not within her, so that doesn't count, in other words. So there's no water in her chart except for the Pisces. So that Pisces is basically there, like the Jupiter, the sprinkle on top. It's like, oh, just so you don't seem like the Terminator, here's some water. So you have a little bit of emotion. You have just enough emotion to understand other people's emotion, and then enough air to kind of reason it out, to make sense of it, to just apply logic and just a more mental aspect to the feeling aspect, and just, again, make sense of it, put it into words, express it, solve the problem, alleviate those feelings immediately, so you don't have to carry them down. They don't weigh you down eventually. So that's funny. That's it. That's literally it. Her chart is all fire and Capricorn. So the Pisces is the sprinkle on top. It's just the little extra she needed because she is a woman. Because if this chart were a man's chart without the water, it'd be totally fine. It'd be a great man. Yeah, very strong, go-getter. Like just he would just race to the top of whatever company he's in. So the Pisces, and maybe the fact that she's drawn to watery men is like her counterbalance. But anyway, yeah, her Pisces was probably just meant to make her a little more feminine and just a little, again, so she has some emotion and she can, it's not too much that will weigh her down or be a detriment. It's just enough so she can understand others, basically. And she can relate to the watery men that she's drawn to. That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, that makes sense to me. See, sometimes looking at the chart is just like solving a puzzle because there's so many different attributes, positive and negatives, to each different zodiac sign. And then what they align to planet-wise, just how they combine, how they average out, which ones you choose to exercise and make stronger, and which ones you don't pay any mind to, so they kind of just go dormant. That happens. You can wake them up again. You can choose to exercise them when you need them, but again, knowing is the first step. So yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. It's like somebody built like the Terminator, like literally just Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then was like, oh shit, that's going into a woman's body. That spirit is going into a woman. Here's some Pisces. Here, take it quick, go. Like that's what I see here. That's so funny. They're like, that Scorpio's not going to be enough in Venus. Go. Here's some Pisces. Just enough. Just enough water. That's so funny to me. And she has no air. So the Pisces kind of accounts for the air and the water in one. You get both. 2 for 1. 2 for. Cool. That's funny. I mean, her chart is very her. Her chart is very her. Very fiery, very hardworking, with just a little bit of emotion, just a little bit. So she can get along with the men she's attracted to. It's funny. I wonder if she is actually attracted to watery men. Now I want to look at all of her boyfriend's charts and just see. It's so interesting because sometimes you look at the charts of people that you date and there's a really obvious pattern. Like you see like 1 or 2 signs popping up in every single one. You're like, oh, you are attracted to this one person. And then sometimes it's totally random. And when it is totally random, I always assume there's something else going on. Like there's another reason why you're dating them. Either it's for status, fame, just monkey branching, ladder climbing, whatever those are, where the person doesn't matter. It's just their role in life. So when you get into all those other reasons why people are in relationships, that kind of takes away from your chart because you're not being true to yourself anyway. So you're not being true to your chart. Therefore, the answers are not going to be in your chart if you're not being true to them. So it's very funny. She is on her life path, which is why I think she's so happy. And keep doing you. Go, Kristin. Go. Like, go, girl. I really like you now, and I'm sorry I misjudged you. And now reading your chart, this explains why I like you. So you keep doing you and let it be an example to everybody else that more people should be just authentic to themselves. And if you don't know how to do that or where to even start, you start with your chart. I am here to help. Reach out if you want your chart read.